Yo, what's up, guys? Tristan Williams back with Jets World. Sorry, it's been a long time. Sorry. It's been a long time since I've been on this. It's been a good few weeks. It's been a long couple weeks with a lot of things going on. You got Christmas, New Year's, some other personal things going on. So couldn't really get around to this, but just wanted to go in with my usual Wednesday pod because, that's when we're scheduled. Just a little bit early today because we do have a Back Porch Sports podcast today at 7 directly following this. So you can go ahead and check that out right after this. Jets season's over. They just played the Miami Dolphins. I'm pretty sure the last time I was on the podcast, we just played the Dolphins in Miami. We beat the Dolphins 32 to 20 in a game that almost seemed like, we just kind of kept control of the game the entire time. It really didn't feel like we were going to give it away. Aaron Rodgers, 4 touchdowns. Everybody felt like he was going to force feed Devontae the ball. He did get Devontae the touchdown, but not for the 500 touchdown. We'll talk about that later. But Jets go on top 32-20, sorry. Aaron Rodgers finishes the day 23 of 36, 63, almost 64% completion percentage, 274 yards, a little under 300, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. The pick was on the first drive on the first throw. Pretty sure it deflected off Devontae Adams into an interception. And then, Alan Lazard has a passing attempt, 0 for 1, no completions. Breece Hall led the way with 12 carries, 57 yards, averaged a little under 5 yards a carry. Isaiah Davis, 4 carries, 40 yards, averaged 10.2 yards. And Braylon Allen with also 4 carries, 15 yards, with a 3.75 yards per carry. Devontae Adams went for 6 catches, 88 yards, and a touchdown. Breece Hall went for 3 catches, 15 yards and a touchdown. Conklin, 2 catches, 16 yards and a touchdown. He was the one that caught Rodgers' 500 touchdown. And Lazard, 3 catches, 70 yards and a touchdown. Garrett Wilson finished the day with 4 catches, 50 yards. And, that'll pretty much wrap it up on that. We played Huntley, to be fair, Tyler Huntley. Wasn't really – it was kind of back and forth. They kind of kept it sort of close, but I feel like the Jets kind of had it in hand the entire time. Defense was playing pretty well. Offense looked like it was playing pretty well. I'm pretty sure the defense had like 3 or 4 takeaways, if I'm not mistaken. Always a good day when you keep Tyreek Hill in check for 2 catches, 20 yards. Pretty sure he checked himself out early in that game as well. The Jets win 32-20. They finish their season with 5 wins. We have the number 7 overall pick. Sorry, let me go ahead and bring up the draft order. Where's Tankathon? There we go. All right, here we go. Yeah, we finished in the 7th pick. We would have won. We would have lost. It really wouldn't have shifted it all that much, I don't think. Now, if we would have lost that Jaguars game a couple weeks ago, I think we could have been up there, probably with the 1st or 2nd overall pick. But we'll round out the top 10 here now that's kind of finalized. Tennessee gets the 1st pick. Shout out Drake. You will be getting Cam Ward or Shador Sanders. That's pretty cool. Cleveland with the 2 overall pick. I think they're going to be going with the quarterback that Tennessee doesn't go with. Sorry about that. Giants with the 3rd pick. They worked themselves out of a pick for the quarterback, unfortunately. New England with the 4th pick. I think they're going to get the best skill player on the board. If that's Travis Hunter, if that's that receiver out of Arizona State, I think. Thoughts on us interviewing Richard Snowden for GM? Honestly, I got to be honest with you. I got to if Richard Snowden's an actual candidate, I got to do a little bit of more research. I have a couple of names that I have written down. I don't even see him pulling up, honestly. I don't even see his. Interesting. I know we just interviewed Borgonzi today, and Nagy, and the dude from the Eagles. So there's that. I didn't see anything about a Richard Snowden. I'm gonna have to look at that. But anyways, that kind of knocked me off a little bit. Appreciate the comment, Harry. Stick around. But yeah, Jets get it done. They'll pick the 7th pick. And yeah, I think that I don't think we'll be in range of a quarterback, but we could get a pretty good defense player, whatever obviously the new regimen wants. But we'll go ahead and move on to that. I got a few names that I've written down that it's kind of stuck out to me. I'll kind of want to go over a quick, brief summary of all the head coach and the GM names before we get out of here. We'll start off with Dimitroff, Thomas Dimitroff. I think he was like one of the first ones that we interviewed. He's the former Falcons GM from 2008 to 2020. Two-time NFL Executive of the Year in 2008 and 2010. He has a big scouting background. He's also the GM that traded up for Julio Jones, drafted Matt Ryan, pretty much set up that franchise for 2 good playoff runs. Before he got to the Falcons, he worked in New England, and I'm pretty sure he won a ring or 2 in New England as well. So he's got that background as well. He's got 13 years of experience as a general manager. He's got 113 wins, 95 losses, 6 playoff appearances, and 1 Super Bowl appearance. And it's the loss. Obviously, that's the loss to the Patriots in the 28-3 game. You know how that is. Kind of just want to give a few words about Dimitroff. I don't think this would be the worst thing. Trading up for Julio Jones. He was a top 2 receiver in the league for a long time. Obviously got a franchise quarterback in Matt Ryan. Obviously got his team to a Super Bowl at one point, right there in 2016. I don't think, like I said, this would be the worst option for us to go. But, I mean, there's definitely better candidates out there. I think if we end up with Dimitroff, I don't think it would be the worst thing ever. He's probably 2 or 3. He's probably mid-pack, maybe 3, somewhere around there. I got a guy on here that I'm really, really eyeing. So I'll just go ahead and jump to him. We were supposed to interview him today, Mike Borgonzi. He is the GM or the assistant GM, should I say, for the Kansas City Chiefs. He's been actually at the Kansas City Chiefs since 2009, 2010, somewhere around in there. And he's been working his way up the ranks through scouting ranks, pro scout, manager of football operations, he got up to assistant GM now. He started as the administrator of college scouting. So a lot of scouting background, which is really good. I kind of want a football guy as our general manager. And then you got the kind of the CEO guy as head coach. Obviously it doesn't need much saying. He's a big help to the Chiefs, dynasty that they have today. They have, 3 Super Bowls, going for the 3rd in a row this year. Obviously, I would say great candidate. He's worked his way through the ranks. He's done it the right way. He's done it with the same franchise. He's led that franchise out of being a bad franchise because let's not forget the Kansas City Chiefs weren't a very good franchise for a long time until I don't know 2019 or not 2019. What am I talking about? The Alex Smith years and when they brought in Andy Reid, which would have been the mid 15, like 15, 14, somewhere around there, 13, 12, somewhere in that range in there. I'm not too big on the Chiefs, but obviously that's what turned him around. He's been there since they've sucked, and he turned it around with who he was working with. So there's that plus. Obviously helped draft Pat Mahomes, guys like that. So there's that. I think this would be a slam dunk hire. I think this is the guy that I'd want personally. And you pair him up with I don't know, maybe like a Brian Flores or, I mean, I know there are coordinators that were interviewing as well. So, but yeah, I think Mike Borgonzi is my number one candidate. We'll go ahead and go over a few more of these. John Robinson, which was the former GM for the Tennessee Titans when Mike Vrabel was in the building. He was the former Tennessee Titans GM from 2016 to 2022. When he was let go, the owner said that told him that personnel was the problem. So basically, he wasn't filling out the roster. Coaching of some sort was a problem, but it was mainly getting rid of the good personnel. He's the guy that traded A.J. Brown in that draft and took Treylon Burks, stuff like that. He had 7 years as the Tennessee Titans GM and 66 wins, 48 losses, 4 playoff appearances. So, I mean, it's better than any GM that we've had. Joe Douglas had 5 years. He was like 30 and 60, no playoff appearances. So, can't really poo-poo this guy, but not really high on my list. Kind of fell apart, per se. Not really high on John Robinson. Got another guy, kind of went in a little bit of a detail. Louis Riddick, should I say. Not really much to say on this one. He's a TV analyst, so he's on the NFL Network. He hasn't been in the NFL in a role with a team since 2013. He was with the Eagles from 2010 to 2013 as their pro personnel, or as a director of pro personnel, should I say. Yeah, I mean, honestly, all I really got to say about Louis Riddick is I really don't want Louis Riddick. He's a talking head. He's talked shit about the Jets before. It just seems like something that wouldn't be good for us. Johnny Boy, take on Dawn Aponte. What is that? I'm not sure. I don't even know what that is. Well, type back in, Johnny Boy. I don't even know what you're talking about. Sorry about that. But I also want to go over a few of the other GMs that we're listing or we're trying or we requested or we interviewed. We also got Jim Nagy. He is the pretty sure he runs the Senior Bowl down there in Mobile, Alabama. Has connections. I'm not very high on him. Ray Farmer. Can't tell you that I know much about Ray Farmer. Probably not the guy, if I had to say. She's a GM that is being interviewed. Really? Dawn Aponte. I'm going to have to look that up. Hold on. Dawn Aponte. NFL. Sorry about that. Is she really being hold on, I'm gonna go to her wiki real quick. Is she really being tried for a GM role? She's the chief administrator of the football operations for the National Football League right now. She was a salary cap analyst for the Jets back in 2001 and 2003. She's also an accountant back for the Jets. Manager of football administration for the Jets, senior director of football administration for the Jets, vice president of labor finance, vice president of football administration for the Dolphins, senior vice president of football operations for the Dolphins. It's interesting. I didn't even know about her name. I'm sorry about that. Well, I didn't see it. The Jets were interviewing her, to be fair. Um, but if we do interview her, I mean, she has history with the Jets. So, I mean, I don't see why it'd be a bad thing. So hey, honestly, I'm kind of with the whole broad, widespread GM coach search. Like, it doesn't even matter if we're really not even interested in hiring you. I just want people to get in the room and say their piece. You know what I'm saying? Even if like I don't know, like with some of these coaches, like a Joe Brady or like a GM, like a Jim Nagy, we're probably not hiring those guys, right? Joe Brady, there's a good chance we might hire him. But I was just throwing an example out there. They're gonna tell our owner and the 33rd team and all those people, hey, this is how I feel. This is what I want to do with the roster. If you're not with that, then whatever. But they'll also say what they think is wrong with this team as well. If Woody Johnson needs to step off, or if this guy needs to step off, or if this guy needs to be doing this differently, or if this guy needs to go get water and it needs to be just this much colder so this can work. Something. I don't know. There's got to be something. But um, Jim Nagy, like I said, not too high on him. Ray Farmer, don't know much about him. Alec Halaby, he's from the Eagles. I'm pretty sure he's an assistant of some sort for the Eagles. We just interviewed him today. Real young guy. I'm not too big on the first time guys, besides Borgonzi, but he's also been an assistant GM for some time, since 2021. So, I mean, that's 4 years. Ryan Grigson, no, not too big on him either. Trey Brown, I got to be honest, a lot of these I haven't heard of. I know the John Eric Sullivan. He's from the Packers. He's some kind of assistant. If we're going to run it back with A-Rod, I don't see us him being too happy about that, since he kind of expressed his frustrations with that front office before he left there the last time. And Chris Spielman, he's actually the brother of one of the people that are on the 33rd team to help us search for our GM. He's working for the Lions as an assistant of some sort. Probably he's a good name, but like I said, I kind of want an experienced guy. So that's kind of all the guys that were written down as a GM. Like I said, Borgonzi and probably Dimitrov are probably my two top guys. So let's go ahead and move on to the coach. As I said, Joe Brady, offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. He got thrusted into the offensive coordinator role last year, mid-season. I forgot who their coordinator was. It doesn't matter. Their coordinator wasn't doing the very good job. He got canned. They brought in Joe Brady. Joe Brady completely shifted that offense. Makes it to where it's not a one-dimensional offense, right? He has really good run schemes, and he also has at the point where you don't got to sit there and force feed one receiver or one player. A lot of the times the Bills last year, before Joe Brady came in, they were force feeding the ball to Stephon Diggs because he needs it. He's that guy. He's that target hungry guy. You know what I'm saying? But after, his production dropped off a cliff. Much better at spreading the ball around. Honestly, you can tell the plus side of everything from Joe Brady with how Josh Allen's playing this year. I mean, there's a good chance he's going to finish as the MVP of the league this year, if not, second. Second would be the worst he's probably going to finish. It's between him and Lamar for sure. Yeah, so Joe Brady, if it's going to be a first-time OC, probably – let me look at this list again. Probably the top guy, in my opinion, that I want as a first-time GM. Only thing I'd be worried about is him building out his staff. Next guy we got, Brian Flores. And now, if you've watched this podcast before, I'm pretty high on Brian Flores. He was, got some winning seasons over there in Miami. Really only got canned because of the stuff that he uncovered about the owner, about them paying him off to tank and tampering with Tom Brady and and all this other stuff. Now, all that stuff's not confirmed, but majority of it is. They canned him for that, and he pretty much got blackballed by the NFL. Blackballed by the NFL. Sorry, um, and pretty much had to work his way back up. He worked for the Steelers under Tomlin, and now he's over there in Minnesota as the defensive coordinator. One of the top teams in the NFC. So him, very, very good. Top of the crop for me. Now he is a defensive coordinator, and I know I really don't want a defensive coordinator, but it's really about the experience for me. He's had head coach experience. Kind of got knocked on his ass a little bit. Not because he was a bad coach. It was more on the lines of because, he did the right thing, got knocked down, came back up now. And there's also going to be that hatred to a division rival in the Dolphins, which I can't stand either. So I am totally for that. And yeah, so Brian Flores would probably be top 2 candidate in my opinion. For me. For this team, I think we need a true CEO. I think we need a leader of men. I know we said that was solid, but he was not a leader of men. He was trying to be their friend. We need a guy that's going to take no bullshit and lead this team to wins. And that's all that matters at the end of the day is winning. Because that's all it should matter about this franchise. That's all it should matter is winning. Doesn't matter what players are on the team. Doesn't matter this or that. It all at the end of the day is matters with this team is if they win. They need to win. So yeah, top 2 candidate for me. Vance Joseph, I'm just going to go ahead and cross that off. No, he's a defensive coordinator. Don't want him. He's experienced, but no, I'm just going to keep that nice, short, and sweet. Vance Joseph, no thank you. Mike Vrabel, number 1 candidate. Problem with that is I think the Patriots just fired Gerard Mayo to get Mike Vrabel. Now, I'll say this because this has been kind of on the back of my mind a little bit. They did request to interview Ben Johnson first. Now, they're interviewing Mike Vrabel tomorrow first, right? But Ben Johnson's interview, which is the OC for the Lions, is Friday. So what that tells me is they're not going to go and straight up hire Vrabel unless they completely just know that's their guy, which honestly at this point, it wouldn't surprise me either. I don't think that's the case, though. I think they're between Vrabel and Ben Johnson now because they got the young quarterback. They got all that money. Ben Johnson's really picky with where he's interviewing. And if he's willing to listen to them, I think there's a good chance that he goes there. Drake May, young, promising quarterback, plenty of money, and a pretty much hands-off owner. Pretty good spot to go to. But we're going to go back to Mike Vrabel. This is the number 1 candidate for the Jets, in my opinion. This is a CEO coach. This is a leader of men. This is everything and anything. This is everything that we want right here in a coach. Now, he's not some Harbaugh or Sean Payton or, think of the top guys. But he's really right tucked underneath that. He's built offensive staffs. He's built defensive staffs. He's had 2 offensive coordinators go out and get head coaching jobs. Matt LaFleur and Arthur Smith being those names. I think this guy's just a slam dunk. Now, we were the first ones to interview him, and that was last week, I think. And there's reports saying that he was interviewing with us to kind of put the pressure on the Patriots. Now, the Patriots fired Gerard Mayo, as I said earlier. I think that could be a ploy for that, but I don't know. There's some feeling in my body, in my gut. I just get a feeling that they want Ben Johnson and that Vrabel is going to get slighted by the Patriots like they did to him last year because they hired Gerard Mayo, and he's going to go to the Jets, and we're going to be we're going to get the the prize for hiring the coach, in my opinion. So for Vrabel, number 1 coach for the Jets, in my opinion. Bobby Slowick, I'm going to say no thank you. That Texans offense has not looked very good, and they got more playmakers this year. Now, I know they've had a lot of injuries. The running attack is good. CJ Stroud kind of looks like having a sophomore slump. Tank Dell, pretty sure he just got hurt. Stephon Diggs got hurt. And who's their other receiver? I can't think of the other receiver right now. Tank Dell. I don't know. I can't think of. I don't know. Why can't I think of this right now? Oh, I don't know. Bobby Slowick, not really in there. Last year, if he would have came out, we would have been a top candidate, but he waited a year. Now it's kind of his offense doesn't look as great. Matt Nagy. I know how I feel off this name just off face value. I don't really like the name just based off face value, but if you really think about it, he got playoff seasons out of Mitch Trubisky, which Mitch Trubisky's pretty bad. Now that does reflect their coaching too, because they got to develop the guy a little bit too. I'm not crazy high on Nagy if this is the answer. If this is the way we go, I mean, I'm not gonna be like pissed, but like I'm not gonna be OD hat. I don't even know how I feel. Honestly, I'm kind of getting to the point now with the Jets. It's like I don't really want to have emotions about things because if it goes my way or not, it just doesn't seem like it's gonna work either way. So Matt Nagy, gets canned from the Bears and goes and hangs out with coach from Andy Reid. I don't know why I can't think of names right now. Andy Reid on the Chiefs for a couple years. I mean, there's not much more better you can get than that, in my opinion. Rex Ryan, I'm just gonna stick to. He's like the bottom option. If we can't get any of these names, Rex Ryan's the guy. It's kind of the way I feel about it. That's all I'm really gonna say about it. Rex Ryan, you're a Jets fan. We love you. We love that you love this team as much as we love this team. But dude, you haven't coached in 10 years and no one else is interviewing you. You know how much of a clown show we're going to look or hiring you? I think we look like a clown show interviewing him personally. But we're going to stick with the hard no on that one. Arthur Smith. And that's kind of like the Matt Nagy name, right? It's like just the face value name. The name just doesn't. It's like nah. OC in Tennessee there for a while. Then he went down there to Atlanta, and they had all kinds of weapons down there, and they didn't really get anything out of it. I know they had Desmond Ridder and such at quarterback, but they had Bijan and Kyle Pitts and all that stuff, and it just didn't work. I don't see that working here, so he's pretty low on my list as well. Brian Greasy, he's like some kind of quarterbacks coach or some kind of offensive staff for the 49ers. I think this is a little bit too premature. Now, this is, like I said earlier, I think this could be good for, kind of talking to people. You get a guy that you like as head coach, maybe this guy will come and, be your offensive coordinator or such like that. I think it's a little bit too premature for Brian Grease. So I'm gonna say no on that one. First timer as well. Really don't care for that. Josh McCown. Josh McCown. It sounds great. He spent his time as our actual quarterback in 2017, and then he served as a backup, as a pretty high price backup in 2018. To be Sam Darnold's kind of, ear or in his ear, talking to him, stuff like that. I think he'd be a hell of an offense coordinator because he's just a quarterback coach right now. I don't think the head coaching promotion is quite ready for him yet, or he's not quite ready for it yet, should I say. And I think he'd be a wonderful pairing if we brought in Brian Flores as an offense. He bring in Brian Flores, bring in Josh McCown's OC. He's already got history here with the Jets. I think it'd be a great pairing. I think if we don't get Vrabel and such, I think Brian Flores as our coach and McCown as our OC, and he brings in one of his little buddies as his defensive coordinators, and I think that's perfect. Ron Rivera, absolutely not. I think that's just a kind of feeler. And Aaron Glenn, I think this is the last big name that we can speak of. Aaron Glenn, I think this is going to be a high name amongst Jets fans and amongst the Jets themselves. Former player drafted by the Jets. He actually did something on a lower level for us there for a little bit too. I think he's probably my third option behind Vrabel and um, Flores. And it's crazy to say my top three is defensive coordinators, but Aaron Glenn, not a proven guy, but he's going to be a first-time guy. He's been in that Lions system, turned around that franchise, and I think he can build a hell of a staff. He can bring some young guy from the offensive staff over from underneath Ben Johnson, and I think that he can build this team up. He's that no bullshit coach that I like. The only thing that scares is the Salah factor. Is what scares me with this. And I think that's just me being scared because, that's what we did last time. But I want to go over one more thing after that. And that's pretty much all the coaches and GMs that we've gone over that we're interviewing and / requested to interview. I kind of want to go over one last thing because we have a looming question above our GM, our soon-to-be GM and head coach. We had a question that they got to answer, and fairly quickly because they need to know what they want to do. Aaron Rodgers, is he coming back? Is he not? What's he going to do? I kind of want to just read you a couple of these stats from this year, and then we'll kind of do our take on it, and then we'll get out of here. This year, he passed for 3,897 yards, basically 3,900 yards, eighth in the NFL, third best ever in Jets history, 28 touchdowns, tied seventh most in the NFL, and also third highest in Jets history. 192 first downs, that was eighth in the NFL, 11 picks, and 63% completion percentage on the season. Now, the reason why I said those numbers is because I want to ask a question amongst Jets Nation, should I say. Should we keep this guy? And should there even be a guy, or should there be even GM coach combo that comes in here and even considers keeping this guy? I know I just read you the base numbers, but that's not everything that comes with Aaron Rodgers, right? There's the baggage. There's the things he's going to go on Pat McAfee and say. There's the interviews he's going to go out and say. There's been a lot of the interviews him saying, and he's been throwing things under the bus, the red line, guys not doing what they're supposed to be doing. He's not taking it on the chin as much as a leader as I would appreciate. So basically my take is, and I know y'all kind of feel this way, they all know I feel this way, is I think he needs to go. Aaron Rodgers, yes, that might be the best quarterback statistically that we've seen in years. Might be the best quarterback season besides the Fitzpatrick season that I've seen in my lifetime. And I still think he needs to go. There's too much. With him being back, that's gonna set expectations on this team next year, and we really don't need that. We got a guy and a bridge quarterback that's under contract for a lot cheaper, in Tyrod Taylor, which I think is as serviceable. Obviously a little bit below. Aaron Rodgers, yes, that's probably our best bridge option, but I'm not trying to eat that cap space the next couple years if we do retain him this year. So I just think that at the end of the day, with everything that's going on the last 2 years, last year, his rupturing his Achilles first 4 snaps of the game. The whole year of Zach Wilson, our defense plays lights out. This year, get more people, go in, still not looking right, and team doesn't look great. We fire our coach week 5, and then the team completely just spirals out of control at that point. Defense falls off cliff. Offense not sputtering right. I think this is just a lost cause. I think we just need to wipe our hands of everything personally. So, that'll pretty much do it for me and on this Jets World podcast. Obviously, we got a GM and head coach search going on. We probably will know our head coach and GM within the next few weeks, I would assume. So obviously next Wednesday we'll be back at the Jets World Pod. Any breaking news that comes out, I'll probably go live that day. Like if we get Vrabel, I'm going live that day. So, like I said, at 7 p.m. Eastern time over on Back Porch Sports on YouTube, me and my boys are going live, talking NFL playoffs, NFL awards, or awards predictions, should I say. And yeah, so hopefully see you over there. Appreciate all the support. Hit that like and subscribe button. And peace and go Jets.